Jonathan Davis is an economist and wealth advisor. As we look at the wreckage of Carillion, doubtless at some point we'll hear that lessons need to be learned, possibly during Prime Minister's question times later today. What lessons do we need to take from this? Morning to you.
Good morning. The lesson, in fact, goes back to 2008 when, and you were just talking about it, we borrowed literally thousands of billions of pounds from our kids and our grandkids, and we handed it to bankers. Because in effect, we told the bankers, do whatever you want, and when it all hits the fan, we'll bail you out. Thus, that kind of behaviour is in the system. That's why Carillion was in a position where its balance sheet showed that it owed between £1.5 and £2 billion. It had a pension deficit of £500 million, because ultimately the cronyist system that we have is that we'll always look after you whenever it goes to the wall, whenever things go to the wall. That's what we need to change. I suspect it will not change, but that's what we need to change.
But they're not being bailed out, Mr. Davis.
Well, you know, you said it yourself. They're continuing the public sector contracts. No reason why that should happen.
In some instances, we don't have a choice.
The banks, though, that's the thing. It's before Carillion. It goes back to the banks. They lent them all this money, knowing that ultimately, if the banks lend all this money and the banks then go to the wall because businesses eventually go down like 10 pence, the banks will be bailed out. So the banks need to be regulated in the way, in the sense that they need to be told, no, the next time you mess up, we're not going to bail you out. But that's the self-regulating system that we require.
But if we had it your way as regards the private sector worker, that means that children wouldn't be fed in school today and our prisons wouldn't be guarded. Surely you're not calling for that?
What I'm calling for is that essential and emergency, shall we say, like prison work, services need, of course, to continue. But if it's longer-term projects in the public sector, no, they can all stop. This is the economic cycle. We have booms. We've had a recovery, for want of a better phrase, since 2009. And the fact is, we have a recession in the West roughly every 10 years. So, you know, we have booms and busts. I'm not saying that we are going to have a major bust in 2018. I'm just saying that this is the natural cycle.
Lastly, the government, the Prime Minister, will undoubtedly be in for a rough ride over this during Prime Minister's question times later today. How much are they the architects of this failure? This particular government. Yeah, well, they kept handing this company contracts, and they knew full well the state of the balance sheet. The balance sheet was building up debts. It had big pension deficits. So from that point of view, why were they continuing to give them contract after contract? Jonathan Davis, thank you, economist and wealth advisor.